Hello and welcome to my Skywatcher build guide. The Skywatcher is an elemental two-handed warrior who introduces another unique mechanic to Dragon Age multiplayer. One of his abilities, Korths Might, can be charged with different elements. This element is determined by the elemental affinity of the ability previously used. For example, using Flurry of Storms will charge Korths Might with lightning, while Hakkons charge will charge it with ice. The Skywatcher feels a lot like the Qatari pre-patch, in that he can put out a lot of damage, but he does have limited survivability. This build will aim to increase your chances of survival by utilising the Skywatcher's area of effect crowd control abilities to incapacitate enemies and then perform combos on them. My first ability is an obvious choice, and is unlocked by default, and this is Korths Might. Korths Might, when used independently, does not deal that much damage, and does not knock down multiple enemies as Mighty Blow does. However, when used in conjunction with other abilities and passives, it can actually increase your survivability and damage output a great deal, and I'll explain why later. You can charge Korths Might with different elements, which inflicts a status effect on the enemy, depending on which element you've struck with. With Fire Smash, you will deal 50% weapon damage per second, Ice Smash will chill enemies and generate 10% guard, and Electric Smash will shock enemies. All of these status effects have a duration of 4 seconds. With upgraded Korths Might, you gain an additional benefit for 10 seconds. Fire Smash increases your damage by 25%, Ice Smash grants you 10% damage reduction, and Electric Smash grants you lightning, which will arc to enemies nearby at 50% weapon damage. My next ability is also unlocked by default, Hakkons Charge. This ability functions very similarly to Charging Bull, except it doesn't deal as much damage, but will generate guard while also chilling enemies that you hit. Hakkons Charge will trigger Cold Smash upon usage. The upgraded version of this ability will reduce its cooldown by 5 seconds, and also reduce the stamina cost by 5 per second. Not much else to say on this, other than you'll need to hold down the button until you release it, at which point you will strike the ground in the direction you are facing. My third ability is Chilling Tremor. This ability will trigger Cold Smash while striking the ground, chilling and damaging enemies in a 5 meter area of effect. When this ability is upgraded, Chilling Tremor will now freeze all enemies in its area of effect, which has been previously chilled, and also increases Chilling Tremor's area of effect by 1.5 meters. My last ability is Crushing Leap. Crushing Leap will have you jump towards enemies and smash the ground around them. It has a 6.5 meter area of effect, and it deals 225% weapon damage. More importantly though, this ability is an impact detonator. When you upgrade in Crushing Leap, you gain 55% additional bonus damage, bringing your total to 280%, while leaving the ground around it on fire, dealing 30% weapon damage per second to any enemy that touches it. Now with the abilities out of the way, let's move on to the playstyle. As I stated earlier, the Skywatcher does suffer somewhat from survivability issues. However, my ability choices should help you mitigate that somewhat, via the incapacitating effects that his abilities have. I open with Hakkons Charge, knocking down as many enemies as I possibly can, and closing the gap between me and any ranged unit. Then, follow up with an Ice Smash, which will chill all enemies and further build your guard. Then I use Chilling Tremor to freeze all previously chilled enemies in my area of effect, and then lastly I use Crushing Leap to detonate these frozen targets with the resulting Shatter combo. This should kill any non-boss enemy it's performed on, even on Perilous with high level gear. Next, passives. My passives are primarily chosen to increase survivability. I select a lot of the passives in the Mountain Heart tree, beelining to Chilled Defense. This passive will grant you 25% damage reduction when near chilled or frozen targets, similar to how Ice Armor functions on the Elementalist and Necromancer. As you will be primarily using ice-based attacks, this passive should be active whenever you are engaged in combat. On the way to getting this passive, you'll also pick up Bear Mauls the Wolves and Crippling Blows, both further increasing your survivability. You will also get Scenting Blood, which is very useful for catching up on enemies which have been thrown out of your blade's reach. And that's it. This is how I play the Skywatcher. One thing to note is that high level gear and weapons make a huge amount of difference when playing this character. He really is not forgiving to new players, unfortunately. Anyway, if you have problems staying alive, then this build should be of use to you. I'll put the full unlock order in the description below as always, and thanks for watching, goodbye.